Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the tranquil side of Florida. This is Real Estate Matters, the voice of real estate in Flagler County in Palm Coast, Florida for almost 12 years. I'm Toby Tobin. I'm the publisher of GoToby.com. I'm a Florida licensed realtor with Grand Living Realty. And I'm joined by co-host Anna Maria Long from the Flagler Home Builders Association, which is also one of our sponsors. Hello, Anna Maria.
Hi, Toby.
How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. So I want to say shout out to our sponsors. Our lead sponsor is Veranda Bay, which is a beautiful community developing along 1 mile of the Intercoastal Waterway with a Flagler Beach address. It's on the west side of the waterway, featuring custom homes by Olson, Arthur Ruttenberg, ICI Homes, and Hulbert Homes, and more recently, Toll Brothers and Dreamfinders. You can find out more about Veranda Bay at verandabay.com. They've got over 20 homes up there already now. In the recent Parade of Homes, the featured home.
Yes, the featured home was
showcase home.
The showcase home was the Bay Breeze by Hulbert Homes.
But it was in Veranda Bay.
It was, yes, and we had Toll Brothers, Dreamfinders, Olson, and ICI also have homes in Veranda Bay in the parade.
Well, the other advertisers are the Home Builders Association. Thank you, Anna Maria.
Oh, you're welcome.
And the Hammock Community Church, where you can find me most Sunday mornings at the 11 o'clock service. It's the little church in the woods, the other side of the Intercoastal Waterway north on A1A north of the toll bridge. So give us a rundown, if you would, just briefly on the Parade of Homes, which finished last weekend.
Yeah, so I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from our builders. Better feedback in the 500,000 and over price ranges. And I'm talking total sales price there, which definitely lines up with the numbers that we've been seeing in our statistics. Mm-hmm. But overall, everyone had a good time and got to meet new people, get some traffic coming through.
Were the builders happy with the traffic?
Yeah, we're still getting feedback in. Not everyone's responded yet. I'm sure they're recovering from a long 9 days, but yeah, those that we've talked to are quite happy with it.
Luckily, the weather was pretty good.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So let's go over some of the numbers. These are April numbers. We're recording Thursday afternoon, so it's not live. So if you think you're going to call in with a question, don't. But as of Thursday noon, 181 single-family homes had been reported sold through the Flagler MLS system at a median price of $361,000, 49 days on market. Compared to last year, a total of 255 homes were sold. The median price was $370,000, and a lot more days on market, 64 days on market a year ago.
Yeah. So
looking at both ends of the market, at the lower end of the market, 10 homes have sold so far for less than $250,000. Days on market at that segment is 33. 5 of those 10 homes sold for cash. 11 homes sold for over $1 million, so we're back in the even again. We had a couple weeks where there was a discrepancy.
Mm-hmm.
But 11 homes sold for over $1 million. 6 of those sold for cash. Days on market is 52. 1,172 homes are listed under MLS for sale, single family again, and that compares to 1,347 a year ago. 412 homes are in the pending category. That's compared to 335 a year ago. Days on market for the pending homes is pretty much in line with the sold homes at 52 days. The median list price for those homes that are in the pending category is $375,500, and that's the 335 homes is the highest number of pending homes in 2 years.
The 412 is the highest number.
I'm sorry, right, the 412. Thank you. That's why.
That's why I'm
That's
here.
why you're here.
It's here to double check the notes.
Yeah, and the Gindex, which is a measure of the relationship between listed homes and pending homes, is down to 2.84, and that's the lowest since August 2024.
I
So
love that for us.
you like what?
I love that for us, that the
Yeah,
index is so low.
yeah, I do. I do too. And that's a positive sign to the market. And what that tells us is, we're edging more and more uh, away from the neutral market. And the fact that our prices are still holding steady, relatively steady, indicates that even though the total number of homes sold is pretty impressive, it could be a whole lot more impressive
Yeah.
because there's a sense of, particularly at the upper end of the market and the lower end, the investment end of the market, that there's a lot of pent-up demand.
Right. And ultimately, as economic development comes in to the Flagler area, that's what's going to drive the middle class, the middle market, because the upper end and the lower end will, as we see, kind of function on their own. But the true middle market's going to function as the economic development does, and people come in as workforce.
Yeah, and if you've been down Central Avenue in the town center, over near Royal Palm, you'll see construction there. That's the new data center or cable landing switching center.
Sorry, I'm making a face because I drive down there every single day, and I apparently am not looking. So I'm going to look tomorrow morning.
Well, don't take your eyes off the road.
Well, apparently I'm just looking straight ahead. So.
Well, if you take Royal Palms to Central and turn right, it's
okay. I don't feel that bad. I don't turn on Central. Okay, tomorrow I will turn on Central to go exit out of that way.
Okay, but it's a very active construction site, and while that's real high tech stuff.
Yes,
that they're doing. It's a cable landing station for.
And that should bring, even though it won't bring a ton of jobs to the data center itself, it should bring a lot of jobs because we have that.
Other companies will move here because of the
capabilities.
Location. Yeah, co-location.
And because it's such a hot topic, I just want to restate that is a closed loop water system.
Yeah, that's
really important.
One of the things that's it keeps popping up on social media, people complaining about how much water that's going to take out of our water table. That center will be a closed loop center.
Yeah, and I'm just based on what regular impact fees are and some basic small commercial sites right now, I'm certain they paid a lot.
Yes, I'm sure. But I couldn't find the building permits. I'm still struggling with our online permitting system. If you plug it in by address, it doesn't show up. If you plug it in by property ID, it doesn't show up, or at least it didn't last week.
I'll give it a try.
Oh, I wonder whether they've got a non-disclosure agreement or something. Anyway, so one of the takeaways for the market, this is my read, geopolitical uncertainty is the largest factor holding back a market fueled by robust underlying demand. And to a lesser extent, interest rates are still remain a hurdle to some people.
Yeah.
But they are easing. So what's the big topic today? One of the biggest topics, and we'll talk about it today, is the westward expansion.
Yeah, my favorite.
And the westward expansion, if you look at Flagler County, we joked a week or two ago about how the north-south orientation and how westward expansion has been it's been kept down by physical barriers like I-95. There are only so many bridges over east-west over 95 or under in one case, a couple cases. The Intercoastal Waterway is another barrier, and then the East Coast Railway, which parallels Route 1, is the final barrier. So really about 2/3 to 3/4, almost 3/4 of the total county land is west of the railroad track, and it's largely undeveloped because of those physical barriers. and that's about to explode because we're going to be building part of the westward expansion is going to be a loop road that will connect an extension of Matanzas Woods Parkway to an extension of Palm Coast Parkway with two bridges over the railroad tracks, and then going out into the western lands, the hinterland, which is mostly forest land and agriculture, no, mostly timberland. And then it'll loop out and come back. And that's already largely been funded by state money.
Yeah, and we have to use that money
We
that's
have to,
been appropriated
use it
for that loop
We
road,
can't,
right?
and uh, at least one of the local politicians is making a big thing about how that's tax money. It's may have come from the state, but it's still tax money. But that's a little bit disingenuous because that money was going to be spent anyway.
Yeah,
It is
and not necessarily
money.
even on us.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It could have gone to Miami or.
It's not all our money. It's our money along with a lot of money from all the other counties in the state. And the way grant money like that works is typically it goes to Washington first, and then they carve out their administrative fee, and then they grant it back to states in what they call block grants, and then the states put it into their budget and divide it up, and the various entities of the state, private and public, will go and lobby in Tallahassee and try to argue for the fact that their project is more important than somebody else's project. And then the state ends up allocating their block grant money back to those projects that are deemed worthy. And fortunately, the westward expansion is deemed worthy because it's a regional impact issue. It's not just a Palm Coast or not just Flagler County issue. So we end up getting our money back plus Orlando's money and Tampa's money and Miami's money.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be a major connection, not just for Palm Coast.
Yeah, so it's a good thing. Well, time is running along. We got to take a quick break. Don't go away. We'll be right back to talk about more of the western expansion. See. Well, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters. We're talking about the western expansion. And we want to say a shout out to our lead sponsor, Veranda Bay, John Anderson with a Flagler Beach address. Thank them. We're talking about the westward expansion and some history of the westward expansion. That land was actually annexed into the city in 2007. And at that time, some applications were put in for what at the time were called DRIs, Developments of Regional Impact.
They're not a thing anymore.
They don't use that anymore, but
now they say MPD.
Now it's Master Plan Development. But the two projects were called Old Brick Township was one, and the other one was Neoga Lakes, and these were completed or accepted, permitted, entitled in 2010, both of them. And what's happening right now in the westward expansion plan is the landowner, which is tied into Rainier Timber. It's called Radiant Palm Coast LLC now. That's the land development subsidiary of Rainier. And they own both of these DRIs now, but they didn't when they were formed. They owned the Neoga Lakes DRI, but another landowner owned the other DRI called Old Brick Township, but then they sold that to Radiant in 2013. So Old Brick Township was approved. Again, they were both approved in 2010. Old Brick Township was approved for 5,000 residential units, and they don't specify it at that level of entitlement, whether it's single family or multifamily or townhome or what, or apartments or condominiums, just a residential unit, which means someplace where someone can live. Non-residential is 100,000 square feet of commercial, 50,000 square feet of office, and 1 million square feet of industrial. And as part of the negotiation, a 40-acre parcel was set aside to co-locate a city park with a school site. The Neoga Lakes was approved for 7,000 residential units, 34,000 square feet of retail, 45,000 square feet of office. For civic use, 222,000, and 1.8 million square foot of an employment center, school and a wastewater treatment plant, and 115 acres was set aside for a school site, again co-located with the city park. So these are always the culmination of negotiations between the developer and the city. And they negotiate back and forth, and they end up with an agreement that's probably not satisfactory to either one of them, but
Right.
it ends up being in the middle.
And this was the agreement made in 2010, and we're now in 2026. So
Yeah, now in 2026,
needs to have changed.
nothing is done. Nothing has changed with those two DRIs. They're still active, but what Rainier or Radian is proposing is a new MPD, which will double the total acreage from 10,000 to roughly 20,000 acres. And between the two approved DRIs, you've got 12,000 residential units, and they'll add another 10,000 residential units in the new application. But again, it'll include the loop road that I mentioned earlier. Also part of, and this is again another state level project, it's going to be an extension of what they call a connector connecting the southern end of St. Johns County to Volusia County along our western side of our county, and it's called the 2209 Connector Road. And that's kind of a north to south road, and that'll tie into this western expansion as well. And
that is so significant because we talk about 95, and I know people kind of joke or maybe not joke about, is our section of 95 like haunted? Is it built on an Indian grave site? Because there's so many car accidents. It's because there's so many people on it.
The whole section, it's our section of 95 through Volusia down to I-4, and then it's the eastern end of I-4 are two of the most deadly
yes.
sections of interstate in the country.
Right, yes, and I think that having this, I mean, mathematically it would make sense that having this 2209 connector road, I'm personally would be thrilled about it to not have to do 95 and the whole shebang to get on I-4 and just go west immediately. But we would be getting people off of our immediate stretch of 95, which would eliminate some of the road use, not only just getting people off, but it would help the road deteriorate at a less
95 goes right through our cities. It's like our main road.
It
main
is,
street.
yeah.
It's like a local street.
Yeah. We hop on it like regularly. I personally hop on it all the time just to go from, Palm Coast Parkway to 100.
If the section of I-95 between 100 and Palm Coast Parkway carries 25,000 cars a day more than 95 north or south of us.
See, when we think about those numbers, then everything else kind of makes sense. So now, in knowing that, well, yeah, of course our state government wants to fund the loop road.
And we should be happy that, these DRIs committed the developers to spend X number of dollars on roads. And in some cases was explicit. It says you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do some improvements on US 1, for instance. The Neoga Lakes DRI specifies that. And these are going to be, they're going to be down towards Bunnell. But that plan envisioned connector roads. It wasn't Palm Coast Parkway to Matanzas. It included an expansion of Whiteview and I can't remember something.
Royal Palms?
No, what's just
Pine Lake.
It's the industrial street across
Hargrove.
On the west side of US 1.
I'm just going to keep naming things.
Otis Stone.
I would have never gotten that one.
It's Otis Stone, and that was supposed to be connected too. So the plan will be all revised. It won't
Yeah.
be just jamming the
It
two
kind of has to
existing
be
plans.
modernized. Yeah.
But what it will do, those two existing DRIs offer a starting point for negotiation.
Right.
So what people are doing right now, and this includes both people in social media
And elected
and the
officials.
developer and politicians, and they're
Okay.
posturing right now.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody has read The Art of the Deal recently, just within the last week. So
People who haven't picked up a book in 6 years just read The Art of the Deal.
yeah. So the existing DRIs are going to offer to some extent a starting point for negotiating, but we're going to end up with a totally new deal, and it'll be the end. It'll be the end result of back and forth negotiating, and hopefully it'll be done in good faith. But for one, I'd like to just say I've met people from Radiant and Rainier, and if you look at some of the things that they've done, they've got a project up north of Jacksonville, and they do good stuff. I mean, they're quality.
Yeah.
And that's all we can hope for, because there was a presentation at the community center last night that I went to, and the word that I heard most often was inevitable. You know, that the Western expansion is inevitable. It will happen. It has to happen.
That is true.
It just makes sense. And our best hope is that we have responsible people in office at the time. And I know we've got a responsible developer. I hope they stay in the picture.
Right. That is important.
And we'll end up with a good project, because this land, find another place along the east or west coast of Florida that's that close to the beach, that has that many acres, still owned by one property
it's not
owner.
possible. And then when we add this 2209 connector road I-4 access to this, right, it's going to be on the other side of this development. We really are posturing ourselves for a potential economic boom.
So it could be a home run, a real home run. I just wish I was going to be around to see it happen. But,
listen, I'm doing everything in my power to keep you. I don't come in when the kids are sick. I am doing everything to keep you healthy and safe. You know, it is inevitable. And I agree. Rather than fight it, it's how can we support it to be done responsibly and be done correctly? Everyone says they want responsible development. Prove it.
Yeah, what they really say is they don't want any development.
Well, no, they said but I heard them say they want responsible. So show it.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. So challenge to you, ask your favorite AI this question. Tell me about Toby, Tobin, and Flagler County. And then read the response carefully. You'll see why you should call me before buying or selling property in Flagler County. You'll get a referral to a top-notch agent or builder, while keeping me as a consultant throughout the transaction, and at no additional cost to you.
And video podcasts of Real Estate Matters are available on gotoby.com. Click on podcasts on the top navigation bar. Show notes are included so you can see what we didn't get to on the show, and there's a lot today. Also on gotoby.com, the Flagler County interactive map of residential developments and subdivisions, which is updated regularly. If you have a question or a suggestion for Real Estate Matters or gotoby.com,
give me a call, 386-931-7124. You can email me at toby@gotoby.com. Thanks for being with us today. I'm Toby Tobin, and I approve this show.